You're listening to the MS Power User Podcast, the podcast for Microsoft enthusiasts and power users. We discuss the latest news from MSPowerUser.com about Windows, Microsoft, Surface, Xbox, Surface Studio, Surface Dial, all that, you get the point. My name is Vernon E. Smith, and I'm joined as usual by Andy Bennett. Hi, Andy. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. This week is one where it's like I just want it to be over, but I honestly don't even have a reason. I don't think. Maybe it's just that we're getting so close to Christmas that I'm just getting hyped up here, waiting for everything to arrive in the mail.
That is the wonders of Amazon Prime, right?
Oh yeah. Aside from the fact that I pay like almost $10 for 1 day shipping, and then turns out no, because of the distance from the warehouse, it's going to be 2 days. And then I contact support and they say, "Oh, we'll refund you for that." Then they do absolutely nothing at all. Like they changed the value of the order, but it isn't even changed properly. And then the amount I'm being charged is still the exact same, and it's like I don't even feel like screwing with them anymore. But whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, it's just $10, but regardless, it's $10.
Yeah. We'll talk later about what that $10 could buy you, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Spoilers involves the best Christmas movie of all time.
Yeah, there's really that's not even a clue. That's just basically a statement. Everyone knows. So,
yep. So
yeah.
how's your week been, Vernon?
We had this week at work, we prepared for a governmental agency to come visit us and audit us. So that was fun, and the audit went all right. The result was fine, but the buildup was torturous, and that's just I suppose that's the way audits are supposed to go. So there's that.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, and it is winter here, so that's exciting and gruesome, but it's mostly fine.
Yeah, exciting. 0 degrees. It works.
Yeah,
at least this is like the first white Christmas here, or it should be first white Christmas here since maybe like 2012.
Oh wow. Well, this is easily the best winter we've had as far as not getting snow. I think we finally got snow, only a couple weeks ago around these parts. So, but now we're in full winter, and it's easy. It's often below zero, and of course for our international listeners, we're talking Fahrenheit. Freedom units. So we have
Celsius would be so much kinder with these numbers.
It would make that's true, but it would also make more sense. But don't tell other Americans I said that. Hey, let's have a podcast, huh?
Yeah.
So we start off almost always with insider stuff, and Andy, you are the insider king, at least between the two of us.
Yeah, I've been on top of this. Although this week, it's not really too much, as I guess it's kind of an announcement that stuff's winding down for the year. As we've got Christmas and whatnot coming up. Everyone's going to start to head on vacation and enjoy a nice, quiet time. And of course, pretty much everyone's heading towards it. Microsoft, Google, Apple, you name it. Odds are at least, I'd say over half their staff, maybe even worldwide, is going to be heading on vacation soon.
And I would make the argument that many of those vacations have already started. Often they're more than 2 weeks at a time, as far as the end of the year. But that's perhaps, at least my understanding. So.
Yeah. And so this week, if there would be a build, it would have been the last build of the year. However, this week, the candidate for the fast ring was just far too buggy, and according to Donna Sarkar, and I quote, "We didn't want to leave you guys with an unstable experience over the holidays." And that's totally understandable.
What's funny is that this is fast ring, and if you're on fast ring, you should be prepared for an unstable experience. Now, we've been absolutely awesome it's been great that we've had such good experiences sometimes with fastering, but I think it's just a kind of a comment on how such a big deal the Insider program is. It's really whatever. It's pretty amazing what they've done with it so far over the past. But what's it been? Not much. I don't know. I'm so bad at guessing time when it comes to tech. 2 years, I guess.
Yeah,
almost.
It started October.
It
started in October 2014.
Okay, so a little.
And it's kind of funny that 2-year difference. 2 years ago, we were left with the last build. It was the third build of Windows 10. Last build of the year. It was the last one with a lot of Windows 8 styling in it, and it was garbage, to put it one way.
Mm-hmm.
It was incredibly unstable. I know that it ruined a couple of... Yeah, I think it destroyed someone's solid state drive. Though, I don't know if that was anything widespread or anything. I remember seeing like 2 or 3 people back on MDL back in the days when I was actually on that place talking about it. And so, yeah, it was a pretty crappy build then, and they are avoiding doing that again this year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's nice. And however...
Speaking, you done with that, or are you moving on?
Well, not yet. No, there's a bit more to this.
Okay.
But instead of a new fast ring build, instead the slow ring gets build 14986, which we covered last week. It includes nice things like wow, I gotta scroll through our notes here. New Cortana commands. Windows Game Bar gets improved full screen support. Enterprise cloud printing. New Windows Ink stuff, new extensions in Microsoft Edge, updated rendering technology, and much, much more. So that's nice. And additionally, ISO files for build 14986 will be provided next week. So
that's nice. That's nice. That's a good little Easter egg. Not Easter egg? No. Cherry on top. Cherry on top. Let's go with that.
Yeah. Cherry on top, tip of the iceberg. Not tip of the iceberg. Something. Some kind of saying that is popular and is relevant.
And witty. Throw that in there.
Yes, very witty. Please clap.
So moving on to witty, and this is not a good segue, not witty at all. Flash. People kind of hate it. People really hate it, at least some people. So this is an interesting thing that Microsoft is doing. Microsoft Edge will be, or in the next, the press release is saying, in our next release, we will extend this functionality and encourage the transition to HTML5 alternatives by providing...
Well, the functionality they're talking about is that, which...
blocking Edge. Edge is blocking...
No, not block...
Edge is blocking
Edge
Flash.
Is not blocking Edge. Edge will start automatically blocking Flash content in the Creators Update, which it's basic... I guess click to run is the best way to put it, because this is something that is in other browsers. In fact, I even think there was a setting for it in Internet Explorer. Not sure, so sure about Edge. I mean, maybe it is there now, just not on by default. And it's something that I enable when I can in things, because Edge is a
Flash.
Flash player is the dinosaur. Edge, not so much, but Flash, yes, Flash is something that I would like to see die. And this speeds it up a little bit. And it's something that it means that it'll only run when you accept, like, it'll ask you, do you want to run Flash Player on this page? You can say yes, stuff like, maybe always run it on this page, or just for now, or keep blocking. Pretty standard stuff that I have been using in Firefox for years, but it is great to see it come to Edge, as Flash right now is just a resource hog, and additionally, even worse, it's also becoming a security issue, as there's just tons of vulnerabilities in there.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah. Well, speaking of Edge, RoboForm, Password Manager, and Ghostery, both those extensions are now available for Microsoft Edge. They are basically...
I think RoboForm already sums it up in its name.
Yeah, you got a good idea what that is, okay? Automatically remembers your passwords. You don't have to type them in again. And those things always scare me. I don't want to be this tinfoil hat person.
It's not tinfoil hat, but go on.
It's just not quite my thing. I guess I like to have a little bit more control of that, but you are very welcome to.
The thing about password managers, I think, is that the best way to describe the cloud, I think, if you want to be scared, is someone else's computer. And while in most cases they are secure, thing is, LastPass, the absolute biggest password manager, had like 2 breaches. And these were fairly recent, like they were in the past year or two. Maybe it was 1 breach per year, I can't really remember, but it was enough to completely put me off ever using a password manager again. That the biggest password managing company out there gets breached, gets their database with the passwords, even if they are encrypted, breached twice.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, they may have, even just the headline, LastPass breached, is enough. Like someone could have hacked them just to do them that harm, potentially, because that in itself is a big enough deal. And they, like you said, the passwords could have all been encrypted, and like quite literally, it could happen that no one was detrimentally affected by this, but it's still a reason for you and I to say when it comes to using LastPass.
But however, this isn't LastPass, so if you want to kind of roll the dice and see how it works for you, RoboForm Password Manager, something that, actually, maybe it even is something local and not something that syncs over the cloud. I haven't checked it out yet, but the other one that got added, Ghostery, that is something that I have used in the past extensively. Not so much anymore, although it's not really any reason for it, just that I didn't install it on this computer. Ghostery is an interesting little extension, as the modern web is littered, absolutely littered with trackers everywhere. You'll find affiliate links. Which affiliate links are not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong.
No, that's fine.
Just saying that they are something that tracks where you're going, and one thing that came off my head. So moving on, they've got
cookies.
Cookies, affiliate links, just general trackers, etc. Stuff that finds out who you are, where you're going, so on and so on. Ghostery aims to just strip that out of the web. Additionally, it also strips out some advertisements stuff that will track you, so I guess this could also be technically considered an ad blocker as well. And it's got all sorts of nifty features. I installed it on Edge to take a look and see how its performance was, and while I didn't quite get what I expected, I think it might also because I might have had ad block enabled there, which probably already blocked most of the stuff that Ghostery was going to go after. But anyways, it's got quite a few options to slim down web pages. Like, for example, it even has an option to completely take out comment sections, which that one I did not expect, but I actually kind of like. I'll often go to a page on this computer when I've got like maybe 12 tabs open, so this thing is just about at its breaking point, and then there's another comment section loading. And I enjoy comments, I really do. I really enjoy seeing what people have to say about something sometimes.
So you're a glutton for punishment, you're saying?
I feel as if there's more good comments than bad comments if you know where to look.
That's true.
There are more people out there with a genuine opinion than people who are just looking to start trouble. That's what I think about them.
Speaking of knowing where to look, and you speaking about
just kind of finish that up there. As much as I do like them, having a comment section that's run through maybe a third-party service load in whenever you scroll past a certain point of a page, that is annoying. And Ghostery will let you just strip all of that out. Makes your web browsing experience much lighter, much nicer. And this is from past experience. I have not had much time playing around with it on Edge yet. But yeah, it gets the anti-seal of approval.
Well, it doesn't necessarily get mine, and not because of the quality of the extension, but I guess I vote with my mouse. I don't know how to say this. I just don't use ad blockers because, to me, that website needs some revenue of some kind, or else they would be providing content. And likewise, if they're inundating me with inappropriate ads, and I don't necessarily mean about the content, but just the way it's delivered, I don't want to be there, and I'm not going to give that site my clicks, even if it isn't via ad clicks, if they're not doing ads right. And so I guess
Yeah.
not to overplug our site here, but I'm looking through. I'm on mspoweruser.com right now, and there are some quite legitimate ads on the right side, which are very, very relevant to me. They're Microsoft related things. There's different deals. I mean, you get the idea, okay?
Yeah, it is worth noting, though, that Ghostery, the ad blocking stuff, can be disabled. I opened it up, and it is a very granular settings list. You can enable or disable comment blocking, tracker blocking, ad blocking, so on and so on. So you've got your options there.
Mm-hmm.
And it is nice to see more extensions coming to Edge, although it doesn't seem like developers are currently able to just submit whatever they want. And I still don't get why. Maybe it's tied to how the Edge platform is currently updated with the state of Windows 10 updates, but it is just really weird.
Well, speaking of coming to something Microsoft, another horrible segue, Adobe XD, at least in beta, is now available for Windows 10. So this is something people have been really excited for, waiting for. It is still in beta, so it's not perfect. There's a few oddities, like you can't even share the Adobe, the XD file itself, but it's still very nice to get in there, and it's exciting to see it happening. It's called, I mean, it is considered a UWP app, but you can't download it from the store. You have to install it through the Creative Cloud, which is, well, as Mahidi puts it, interesting. It is.
Yeah, there's been people who said that Microsoft is going to completely close down everything with the Windows Store, and to be fair, it really did seem like the Windows Store was going to be a closed platform, one that was going to be very hard to get into, one very hard to deal with, but no, this shows that there is absolutely potential to distribute universal apps through something that is not the Windows Store, be it, say, maybe even, dare I say it, Steam somewhere in the future. And it shows that more of the little vision Microsoft has of completely replacing EXE with AppX, etc. And I'm happy to see this stuff happen, because now you have a universal app, Adobe XD, being distributed in a completely, I guess you'd say, classic format through Adobe's own services on their own site without tying into the Windows Store whatsoever. That's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm. So another thing that's impressive, at least
you heard that. I feel as if some of these segues, maybe we should. I don't know.
I'll just stop acknowledging that they're segues.
Yeah,
that always works. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Windows Phone, Windows 10 Mobile, Alcatel's Idol 4S. Of course.
Those are all words I like.
Yes, me too. This phone may be coming to Europe, and they talked about how it would not be initially, and it, big sigh of dissatisfaction from the rest of the world, but it may be at least Alcatel Mobile France, which as Michael Allison pointed out on the site on the post, is not doesn't have the check mark for what am I saying here? It may not necessarily be verified.
Yeah,
but
does seem to be completely legitimate, though.
It seems straight up, like makes sense.
Yeah, it seems as if that it's just a case where maybe they couldn't get verified because of some restriction from Twitter, or they submitted the account for verification and failed, or option C, they're just too lazy.
Yep. But then again, we've had some very legitimate Twitter accounts that have made big mistakes. And so this is awesome news. It's exciting to think that might be happening. Doesn't really affect me directly, sorry, but it is something that we hope it happens. And this could be very good.
They announced this with a tweet they sent out, which translated from France, it says, "You have had many questions about the Idol 4S for Windows 10. Good news, some countries in Europe will have it. #stay tuned."
Nice.
Yeah, and that's positive, because the Idol 4S is easily one of my favorite phones I've had the chance of using lately, and it is just a great little device. You've got continuum, a great design, all of this stuff wrapped up into one little package, and it has superb performance as well. All in all, it is good. If it does come to Europe, and you are looking for a Windows phone because you want to mix things up, or maybe you're tired with the current one you have, and you don't want to move to iOS or Android, seriously, give this phone a look. You know, of course, HP Elite X3, if it's available there too, is probably also a viable option, but not for a lot of people.
And probably close to twice the price. Not quite twice, but plenty.
Yeah, it is like maybe $700 or $800, I forget which, in the States, something around there. And I don't want to know how that would be, or rather, I don't want to ever have to pay what that would probably be converted to, because I know that Europe does often get screwed over with price conversion, which is a real shame. But yeah, Idle 4S, very reasonable price for a very reasonably good phone.
Mm-hmm. So I am excited for Microsoft's Eco. Wait, my
home ecosystem?
Well,
because I'm looking at the notes and I'm just trying to think about where this is going.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm totally spacing this. Evo. There's too many things that start in E and end in O. Okay, Microsoft's Project Evo, which would be like an Amazon Echo like device. Wow, too many likes in there. But Harman Kardon has teased that they're putting out this new voice-activated speaker, basically powered by Cortana, which it's really difficult for me. Maybe someone understands it better than me, whether Cortana and Microsoft's Project Evo are directly correlated or one is part of another. Maybe I'm just missing some of this. Maybe it's very obvious to other people, but it seems like they would tie in together, be almost one and the same. And so this...
I think that, like,
as
far as I can understand it, if Evo... Cortana is Cortana. Evo is a device or devices that use Cortana.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the development of them might be tied somewhere. Like, for example, you'll see recent Windows Insider builds adding support for Cortana when you're away from the PC, stuff like that. That would definitely be essential for devices like this. And then you have Evo, which is the actual development of hardware for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, not exactly one and the same, although tied together with a, I don't know, maybe string or rubber band, something like that. They're tied together somehow.
Zip tie.
Yes, that works too.
Maybe a ratchet strap.
They are tied together, but they are not the exact same thing.
Baling wire? No, ratchet strap.
That would work.
And so, obviously, Harman Kardon is a big name out there, a growing name. I think that maybe the name's getting diluted just a little bit. Not to be, I think they're, whatever, that's a different commentary. But it's nice to see this happening, and it was actually leaked by, we talked about it. We reported this back in October, where this was this was coming, and it's here, or it's I guess it's still coming.
Yeah, and and it works using the Cortana Devices SDK, which was released. They say today. What? I don't have the article open.
I got the article here. This was
okay. What was the date?
13th, 2 days ago.
Okay, so 2 days ago, they also released the Cortana Devices SDK, which will allow device manufacturers such as Harman Kardon to integrate Cortana into their hardware. And this is interesting to me because Microsoft, it almost seems as if they're kind of potentially aiming to go what I would consider the Android route when it comes to hardware and competing with other companies. Now, I don't necessarily mean anything about Android itself other than Android versus iPhone. You have hundreds of thousands of Android phones where you'll have anywhere between 7 and 14 iPhones. I don't know how many different models they've made of each one, but you don't have, I don't think you even have 20 iPhones throughout the history of that product, whereas you'll have hundreds of thousands of Android phones, because anyone can put Android on that device. The same thing goes for Windows versus Mac too, I believe, although price also plays into that significantly. Ignoring price, you've got hundreds of thousands of Windows PCs available, as well as the ability to just build your own at any time. versus the various Mac models that are much more locked in. You're not going to go building your own Mac, etc. And I feel as if they're probably going to go the same route with this here. And I also see it happening with their VR headsets as they start making more things available for any developer to tap into Microsoft's SDK, API, whatever, any nice little shorthand you want. They are able to go tap into that, put that on their device, and release that, and all of a sudden you have a device that is not made by Microsoft, but runs Microsoft software, uses Microsoft services, and is competing with devices that Microsoft is not available with, or rather, Microsoft services are not available on. So it's like you're kind of beating them with numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I go for one specific thing that looks a little too expensive when I could get one of these, I don't know, one of these hundreds of different ones that look, that's got the same functionality, it's a little bit cheaper, and I think that it would work just as well. And it runs off this stuff from Windows, so I know it's going to be fine. And so then,
Snicker
goes with that.
But yeah.
Yeah, Snicker for sure, but
still,
just the general consumer mindset.
Yeah.
It's like buying a Keurig competitor instead of a Keurig because of the price, which we did, and we love it. But yeah,
nice. Does it use the same K-cups?
I actually believe it does.
Wow.
As well as just some generic ones, so that's pretty good. But
yeah,
but kind of like not totally relevant there, I guess. But it's I believe they're going to beat the competitors with the numbers. Mm-hmm. We might see a couple specific devices from Microsoft available here, but I believe that they are going to leave most of the work with these up to third-party manufacturers. And it makes sense. Why? I don't want to just say, let someone else do your work for you, but why would you put all this money into designing and announcing your own hardware when you're in a market that you're not sure if it's going to succeed or not, when you can let third parties test that market for you and see how it goes? You can even probably market their product on your own, since they are using plenty of your stuff. So that's something to think about, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, I am excited for this Surface Studio. It's a pretty cool piece of hardware, and Microsoft recently,
pretty cool, and also a case of crazy expensive.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Or as is commonly phrased lately, it's a pretty nifty bit of kit. So it's fantastic. It's so cool, especially for first gen. Well, Microsoft has actually come up with a video on how to set up this Surface Studio, which is interesting that they would do that in itself. But why not? What is?
I think it's a case where if you spend $3,000 on a device, you might want to look up a video to see how to not break it when taking it out of the box.
That's a very good point as well. Yeah. So
might also be considered advertising for those people who are just looking at Surface Studio information and are maybe on the fence about getting it or not, because $3,000 American dollar dues is not an easy thing to part with.
Yeah. Well, it's almost technology porn in a way. This thing is, everybody wants this, of course, and so
yeah,
it's
although I'm not sure I want even if I had the money, I'm not sure if I would want to get a display that big, because I don't have a desk that would fit on.
Well, the base of it is actually pretty small, of course.
Yeah, so you've actually seen this thing in person.
You could set it on a nightstand. You just need it to be stable enough.
Yeah, I was thinking about laying the screen down, which is something that would be cool. Not sure if I would go with it, although I've been trying out drawing with a stylus on a Surface RT, so who knows?
Mm-hmm. No, it's obviously pretty awesome in many ways. Not every way, but very, very many ways. And so it's kind of cool that they put together this video, and it's worth watching because it's pretty drool worthy, this device is. And of course, this is kind of a bit of PR for it. So
yeah, who knows? But yeah, I was trying to think of something else to say about the studio other than I wish I could buy it.
Yeah, well, I would buy a new car not a new car, but a good commuter car for that price. Yeah.
At the very least, the money is going to something that actually has a purpose, and not a purse.
Yeah. Okay.
Whatever. Yeah. And so this next one is one that I actually have some experience here with Skype Mingo. This is something interesting. This is a Skype app that showed up in the Google Play Store a couple of days ago, and it might have even been available there for a while before that, although someone just now noticed it, and it is considered an unreleased alpha version of a new Skype for Android version. As far as I know, it has not been officially announced, and it has so much internal stuff in there that there is no way it could be. It just pops up out of the blue in the Play Store. Someone found it. In fact, I found it, the version or I was linked to it by a tweet I saw from a guy known as Stanzilla's. Great guy, definitely worth following on Twitter. But it's interesting. It is a completely redone Skype for Android. It seems, I don't want to say rebuilt from the ground up, but I'm hardly seeing any similarities between the old version and this. Maybe it's just that they've changed so much. And one of the biggest changes is that it is a combined messaging and text messaging thing. You can message people on Skype, you can message them through text, and that's pretty nice. We're moving towards a lot of these combined messenger apps out there now, that where you have their dedicated service and you have a text service. I don't want to say that iMessage was the first one, but I think it might have been. And since then, we've seen companies realize that idea is a good one and start moving it to their own platforms, which Google recently did with Allo and Duo. And I believe, Allo was the text messenger, Duo was the Skype knockoff.
So kind of like Windows Phone 7 in 2010 and 11.
That too, apparently.
Yeah. Yep, I throw that in whenever possible, and I will never stop throwing that in when appropriate. Sorry, people.
He is the one with the most Windows Phone experience.
Well, between the two of us, but
yeah.
I will admit I've been using Windows Phone for longer than many people, and I probably do have more Windows phones than whatever. Now I'm just sounding boastful. All right.
Yeah, though. And there's a lot of internal stuff in this. Like, it is a completely functional Skype app. I have tried it out. I have found that it is not a good idea to have two Skype apps on the same phone, as you get a call and you think it's bad to have multiple devices light up. It gets even worse when you have multiple ringtones coming from the same phone, out of sync, constant, and switching between each one, like they're fighting for dominance. You'll see regular Skype call pop up, Skype Mingo call pop up, back and forth a bit. Then the screen flashed black, and I thought I might have broken my phone, but no. It is fully functional though, but you can also switch it over to a test backend, or not test, but a fake backend, which seems to be what Microsoft does for screenshots. Like, you know those screenshots in a description of an app where they'll have obviously fake conversations, right?
Yeah.
Well, this has a way to generate them. It's not which is kind of eye-opening for me, because I always think, okay, this is a mock-up. Not quite. They've got little bots in there that you will, they've got fake group chats, fake chats, and you can say a word and the bots will say a random response, or they'll sometimes say something that is slightly relevant to what you say, or just something that makes no sense at all, because why not? And so that's kind of interesting for me, at least, to see how these things kind of work on the inside. But yeah, Skype Mingo, I think you can actually still search it up in the Google Play Store and download it. I had to uninstall it because my screen kept flashing black after a while, which probably to be expected. Let me see if it's still available here. Yeah, no results found, so I guess they did pull it. Not really surprised.
Or is it just like unlisted, just hidden? Can you still share it?
Yeah, maybe they unlisted it, but previously I was able to search the Google Play Store, Skype Mingo, and I picked it up and downloaded it.
Nice.
So that's interesting there.
Yeah, well, overall, I think it's very, I don't know, it's interesting, and it's so positive to see that Microsoft is trying to stay mobile and stay ahead of things, and like that. Obviously, we like that.
I think
But
is that
it's
they're.
so
I think.
it's like, come on, with Skype, pick a direction and go with it and make it good.
Well, I think they're heading in the same direction as Windows Phone now, because with Windows Phone and messaging everywhere, I don't know how to word this other than you can. I don't think anyone expected that feature to stay exclusive to Windows Phone forever. With Cortana, you're able to sync your notifications across all devices. With Cortana on Windows Phone, you're even able to start texting people, from your PC. And now that messaging everywhere is being moved over to Skype, Skype is handling SMS now, as well as their own Skype messages. That's something they can make multi-platform, and that might be the entire reason it was moved over to Skype, so that it is not a Windows Phone exclusive feature anymore. It is something that can be handled on multiple platforms across all sorts of devices, more than just Windows Phone. And with the way Microsoft is going, it is a very consistent direction, and assuming that Mingo does become, the next update for Skype for Android, or one very soon down the line, I would fully expect to have Cortana integration there, so that you can just have full control of your texts from everywhere. Heck, I'm already able to reply to texts from notifications that I have synced. So why shouldn't I be able to open up a text app or Skype or whatever and start responding to people or sending messages right from there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. What's next here? So, Visual Studio, or Visual Studio.
That's a thing.
Visual Studio Code now lets you focus on your code easily. Now I don't code, so this is a little bit tongue in cheek and maybe not earned.
I kind of do,
but I mean, I understand how focusing in on what you're doing is important, and there's a lot of value there. Basically, this major update allows what am I saying here? New feature called Zen mode, which is basically puts you in full screen mode and removes stuff like the activity bar and other distractions. Really lets you dial in or focus in and code. Microsoft's also added the ability to configure the activity bar on code, which allows you to remove certain items if you want, which is very Microsoft-like, and that's fine. How valuable is this to you, Andy? If you were spending a lot of time in this?
Well, seeing how easily distracted I get when doing literally anything, I'd say this is a pretty good thing.
Okay.
Just complete full screen code, complete that, you are focused on your work, you are not getting distracted by, say, the action center lighting up. Even if you got quiet hours on, I still ended up checking it every single darn time because of the white notification icon. And so it's like, that's something good. I'm able to just completely focus on my work. I've got nothing else in front of me. I just have that to work on. So it's like maybe it's like those tests where they just throw down the book, nothing else. They shut the windows. That's it.
Well, here's a little social commentary. Most people drive vehicles, not everyone, but when you're driving a vehicle, you need to focus to varying degrees of intensity. And so if it's really bad out, poor weather, you leave your phone down, you don't reach back and feed the kid, you don't reach to the other seat and whatever, mess around, you focus. Also, when you're speaking to a spouse or a child or listening to a story from a grandparent, or a great uncle that you don't really care for, but you still listen to them, you don't grab your phone, you don't fidget, you intently focus. Or, I don't know, sitting in church, listening to the sermon. Do you not listen? You focus? Now, I understand how this helps, and I can be distracted by things as well.
You're killing my dreams. I know.
I'm really. I know this is horrible. Maybe I was stalling because we covered so much awesome news ahead of schedule, and so I am. This is me. But folks, I don't know.
Take a page from Vernon's book. Focus, but don't be too focused because we kind of need to fill things out at times.
Sure, let's go with that.
Although that's a secret. Shh.
Yeah.
Especially if Mahiti's listening. Shh.
All right, so let's.
I can do this next one.
Well, let me just finish up.
Right.
There
was one more point.
Your point that this is valuable and value added is important. I mean, I get that, and it's nice to see those updates. And of course, my point is kind of tongue in cheek and more cynical, and I'm sorry about that. But
it works.
It's I guess that's how we balance each other out, Andy.
Yeah, it's. I don't want to say it's yin and yang. It's like that's too balanced, maybe.
Sure.
It's like I don't know.
We're just two different shades of whatever color. I don't know. Microsoft blue and Microsoft off blue. Let's go with that.
That works. There's blue and then there's Office blue because actually there's like multiple Office blues.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, yeah, about that focus.
Yeah, about dialing in and just. All right, keep going.
Yeah, and the update also completely reorganized settings, which is pretty nice as always, and they can now be searched, meaning that you don't have to complain about the reorganized settings moving moving the position of what you knew.
You don't have to complain, but you certainly can.
Yeah, there's a search bar though, which that alone makes up for anything they could do the settings. They could put it in Comic Sans, but as long as there's a search bar, I would be happy.
Oh well.
That's like my most used thing for settings.
That's cynical because yeah. All right.
It would be tough, but I would live.
Okay.
And now
is it Control E or is it something else? Whatever.
All right, though. Moving on to the next story, which I'll handle here. The service Discuss. That's how you're supposed to say. It's a comment platform for websites. In fact, we even use it. It is one where you've got one login to comment on any site. You can see your like say you're on a tech website AYZ or whatever the heck there is, or MS Power User. Your websites, but and they both use Discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah, you stay logged in across everything. You don't have to make so many accounts for each website and worry about a breach there. And of course, just got to worry about one. And you can check your notifications from any site involved in there, and it is just great. Easily one of my favorite advancements to come when it comes to web and web blogging and whatnot. But they're having some layoffs. They're laying off 11 employees, which to some people might not sound like much, but that's 20% of their workforce. And this is because they're restructuring a bit of the company. They're shifting their focus to their data business to bring in some more revenue. And this might sound worrying for some, because while Discuss does have a Windows 10 and Windows 10 mobile app, it is currently in beta. However, they have confirmed that the Windows 10 app is going to continue development just fine. These people don't seem to have been too related to it at all. And in fact, even the founder of Discuss, I've heard, is quite a Windows fan, so I don't think there's much to worry about on that front. And I really do hope that the company keeps going well, because, again, they are one of my favorites out there. This shift to the data business, there's a lot you could say about that there. Although, I will say maybe that moving towards one login for everything does mean that you do have one company that is able to really thrive off the data they can sell. Which, not necessarily a bad thing, by all means. It all depends on what you're tracking, what you're selling, and in this case, I believe it is completely in the green here, unlike some of the shadier stuff done by, say, advertising companies and a company that starts with a G and ends with an E.
Mm-hmm.
The one that's basically a devil incarnate, according to some people.
Yep.
But, yeah. This is something that I hope ends up well, and I hope that those 11 employees who ended up getting laid off do end up finding more work. And it just, especially since it's so close to Christmas now, it's gotta suck. But, yeah, a little bit of negative news, even if there's light at the end of the tunnel for some of it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, we are 44 minutes in at this current bit, and we are getting pretty close to the end. Wow.
Oh, I got all kinds of social commentary at the end here.
Yeah, we got a lot to get in there, including the best Christmas movie of all time.
All right, we'll finish this up with what you got for games there.
Yeah. This week in gaming is a pretty cool one for the Xbox, as the Xbox One over the past couple of months, it gained both Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon for backwards compatibility. These games were both created in Microsoft's attempts during the Xbox 360 era to start working with Japanese developers. And this went fairly well. You ended up with stuff like some games from the Tales of series heading to the system and even becoming, like even Tales of Vesperia, I think I'm saying that right, was exclusive to the Xbox 360 in North America, even if it did get a PlayStation 3 release in other parts of the world, exclusive there for North America. And you also got some more exclusives like Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon, which were exclusive to the Xbox One or Xbox 360 completely and they became cult classics. In fact, and they were completely physical only. You could not buy them digitally, and copies of Lost Odyssey, at least, I saw them hitting about $100, some of them even used, around that price for a while. And so then the announcement came out that not only are both Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon now available to buy digitally for your Xbox 360 or your Xbox One, as you know, they're both on backwards compatibility. Lost Odyssey is completely free right now. You can go into the Xbox Marketplace, just search up Lost Odyssey, and you will find that it is 100% free. I don't even think you need to be a gold member for this. Just download Lost Odyssey, and there you go. You have a free, gigantic game to enjoy, and there is no restriction other than you just need to collect it, I guess, before the new year begins. As long as you get it in before the end of the year, you get it. It is yours. You own it. And you take in the satisfaction of knowing that you didn't spend $100 on eBay on it. Because I am just watching the prices fall like the stocks after some announcements are made. So that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Next, the second story from the gaming side is that if you are tired of driving in the snow every day in real life now, you're tired of going around on the slick ice, well, now you can come home and do that digitally. Because Forza Horizon 3's Blizzard Mountain expansion is here, and it lives up to its name. You get to go through a gigantic new area that is snowy, icy, sadly too representative of my driving conditions here, and very, very nice looking. It also introduces a couple new cars that have names that are too long for me to say offhand, but you get some Fords, you get some good cars for the snow, and it's a pretty beautiful looking place. This area that got added, as it is almost seemingly designed to take advantage of the HDR functionality in the Xbox One S if you've got a 4K TV. And I think even if snowy areas are a pain to drive in, I think they look nice anyway, so seeing them in HDR should be cool.
For sure.
Yeah. It's, I do admit I kind of find it funny, that in the comments there's a guy who says that he's as soon as he's done driving through the snow in real life, he can't wait to do it digitally, and I mean that sums it up perfectly with some of this stuff. I think that it reminds me personally of the people who are truckers who then come home and they'll play Euro Truck Simulator.
Yeah.
Although this is a bit more fun since it's Forza Horizon.
Yeah.
And a little more crazy there. So yeah, that wraps up the Xbox news there. And we can move on to the fun stuff.
Well, speaking of
other fun stuff,
I just purchased my very first Xbox game, Lost Odyssey, which is free. So I now own that, and I feel pretty good about that.
You're welcome, Vernon.
Thank you, Andy.
See, this is this type of satisfied customer you will be after listening to the MS Power User Podcast,
Exactly.
the podcast for the Microsoft enthusiast empowered.
And it's a good thing we're free. So last night I was perusing the store. I was going to watch a movie. I'm like, hey, I haven't watched a movie in a while, which I hadn't. I'm like, I'm so going to veg out and enjoy this movie. And I'm a cheap cheap butt, right? And so I find the cheap movies in the store. Well, up to 38% off is what they say. It's called the Winter Sale 2016. I'm glad it wasn't a year off. Boy, that'd be confusing. But, and so there's some pretty awesome titles in here, at least what I think our listening demographic include. So Mad Max Fury Road, obviously, is a pretty awesome movie.
Go for it.
Yeah. Ex Machina, I think, is a very good movie. I like that. Now You See Me and Now You See Me 2, those are both pretty good. I mean, I could just go on and on. A lot of really good movies.
What prices are they going for generally?
Well, Mad Max is normally 12 or 13 or $15, and it's both. Let's see, it's $10 right now, so that isn't super cheap necessarily.
I remember I rented it last year, or maybe it was the year before, where they had a 10-cent sale.
Yeah, so that was very, very good. That was for Windows 10.
I picked up so many movies in there that I didn't even watch.
Yeah,
like I can't even remember. It's been a while, but yeah.
Well, I'll hit some of the better ones in here. So for example, No Country for Old Men is only $5 to purchase. The Departed is only $9. Let's see what else we got in here. I'm not going to go real deep.
Hey, here's one that is a pretty interesting deal. If you buy Elf, the movie Elf with Will Ferrell, for $4.99, you get a $5 gift card. They are quite literally paying you to watch Elf.
What does that tell you? So Elf is a great movie.
I mean, they're only paying you 1 penny, but regardless.
So I suggest everyone go buy Elf. Let's see, which one is it? The plus bonus features? Let's see here.
Yeah, that's what it linked me to in the store.
Yeah, look at. Okay, I'll read this off. Through December 18th. So, folks, you don't have many days left. Buy this movie for $4.99 in HD on Microsoft Movies, blah, blah, blah. Get $5 in store credit to buy on even more movies. Like how do you pass this up? Okay, I'm doing this. Clicking. Yes, people do it. Good find, Andy. Wow.
Well, I mean, it's right there in the highlighted stuff.
Well, under Christmas or something.
If you hit movies and TV, there is a big section there. Winter Sale does get the biggest one, but on the bottom row, it's right in there.
All right. Well, I'm not
good deal.
I haven't really
for sure.
Graduated to Captain Obvious status here, so I missed that pretty easily. But anyway.
They do have some sales on bundles of movies as well. Like they have the Iron Man 3 movie collection from $44.99.
Okay.
I actually haven't seen the Iron Man films.
The first one was okay. I don't know. We're not going to get into that. I'm going to piss some people off.
You can also get TV season passes for as low as $15. So that's kind of cool. Got a whole season of a show for just a mere $15 dues.
I should note that there are now 4 Ice Age movies.
Oh, no. So
some of those were fine. I'll leave it at that. Okay. I guess, in the kids section or family titles, Hook is $10. Not
good movie.
Very good movie. Not necessarily a great price, but pretty good. Up that's a fantastic movie. That's $14. That's not a good price for it, but it is. But Nightmare Before Christmas is only $3, which is I'm buying that.
Neat.
And the price changed as soon as I click on it. Okay, well, don't take my word for it.
As Vernon finds out that he has actually spent $60,
yeah,
we move on to the app of the week, as we're just about at the end of the show, as you could already probably tell. And this week's app of the week is Tweetit, a third-party Twitter client for Windows 10, which I really love to death. I feel as if I've talked about this thing before. Geez, I hope I haven't. Oh my. I don't think I have.
Well, it must still be good enough to recommend.
Yeah,
so.
it's good enough to recommend twice, I think. Because it is, I haven't featured it as an app of the week, at least. I just looked. Anyways, it is a third-party Twitter client for Windows 10, like I already said. And it features it's got both light and dark themes, and it's almost got a TweetDeck-like layout. I say like because, well, it does have multiple columns, and you can manage them. you are kind of limited by your screen space. Like, for example, on my old monitor, I had just a mere 3 columns available. Then I opened up on this new monitor, I've got 4 columns. So it's not like you're constantly able to scroll through everything. But it is good. It's got actionable notifications, which I don't know how the official Twitter app for Windows 10 does not have actionable notifications. You cannot reply to a tweet, you cannot like a tweet or retweet a tweet, anything of the sort from the official client, despite the fact that Microsoft has apparently worked with Twitter on that. They didn't tell them about this little thing called putting buttons in your notifications. Find that pretty weird myself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is a good client with good features, and yeah, worth a look.
Nice.
As always, if you would like to send in any suggestions for the app of the week, contact me at andrew@mspoweruser.com. That's Andrew, ANDREW, at mspoweruser.com.
And you should also follow Andy on Twitter at FusionFan45 because he tweets awesomely frequently. Something like that.
It's quantity over quality, I think.
Okay. And I am, well, probably neither of those. So I'm on Twitter at Vernon E. Be sure to follow the website, the site at MS Power User. And of course, subscribe to the podcast.
We actually managed to hit 100,000 Twitter followers on the main account. So congratulations to everyone else.
Congratulations. Well, no, congratulations.
Yes,
they follow an awesome Twitter account.
Yeah, that works.
And
totally works as cover.
And luckily, every single one of those Twitter followers listens to the podcast every week.
Clearly.
Well, no, actually, far from it, but we do appreciate everyone who does listen, and it's very nice to see a growing and very strong listenership. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, it is great to see just every single little comment. I admit, seeing basically any comment makes me smile. There's some changes that I do kind of want to carry out in the coming year, thanks to some of the feedback we've been getting. Like, for example, there's been some people who have wanted a few more interviews, a little more talking with developers, and it's like I'm gonna be seeing what I can do over the next year to try and get that organized with some people. And if you are an app developer for Windows 10 who would maybe like to come on the show sometime, go ahead and contact me again, Andrew@mspoweruser.com, and I will see what we can do to get things set up.
Let's do it. So I think that's it, everyone. Thank you for listening to the show. We appreciate it, of course, and have a great week.
Hey, if you're still listening, well, that's good, because we kind of forgot to say something. We mentioned the world's greatest Christmas movie and how we were going to talk about it, and just after recording, as soon as we hit stop recording, the thought pops in my mind, wait a second, people are going to think we thought that Elf was the greatest Christmas movie of all time, and no, that's not it. In fact, the greatest Christmas movie of all time is, in fact, Die Hard. And you can pick that one up right over in Microsoft Rewards, if it's available in your country, for a mere 1,000 Microsoft points, which you can get from searching Bing. In fact, you can get maybe about 500 points in a day, I think, if you work at it hard enough and use the right Microsoft services. And just 1,000 points, that is almost nothing. And yeah, it's Die Hard for the equivalent of $1, except you earn it through doing tasks on Bing.
Yep.
Yeah. In fact, Vernon can, vouch for me here. This is the best Christmas movie ever made.
All I need to say is yippee-ki-yay.
Yeah. Now it's the real end of the show. We promise. We're not going to do this again. I swear.
Maybe.
Maybe.